Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've been seeing quite a few requests come across of how to use PIXNUB to create certificates or run through a batch process that really doesn't have an image on the final product. And while PIXNUB is not really designed for this, it can be manipulated to do exactly what you want it to do. So as you can see here, I went online, found a generic certificate of recognition. And then let's just add a text right here. We'll give it something like for being awesome. Boom. All right. So we're going to be giving this certificate of recognition to a group of students for being awesome. And then we want this signature / title down here to just be the name of the teacher. All right, so what do we need to make that happen? Well, we want the kid's name to go here, so let's go ahead and create our name. All right, so I want it to be bigger than that. Let's take it up to 72. No, let's go bigger. 150. Yeah, that works. All right, and then how I do it is I just keep putting in characters until I get to the max width of what I want it to be. I don't care if it goes over just a little bit. I don't want it to go any bigger than that. Now, this needs to be a Photoshop recognized layer. So I know that name is a layer. And I'm going to do -RM so that we handle the resizing. Because if it goes longer than that layer, I want it to shrink down. And then down here, we need another one for our teacher name. And I don't want the teacher name to be quite as big, so let's drop that down to 100, maybe. Yep, that's fine. And then also, I want to change this to, yeah, let's do something a little bit fancier. Tangerine. Let's see what that looks like if I type it in. Alright, so I don't want all caps though. Find a different font. Let's see what we got. Yeah, you know what, I'll keep that one. It's simple enough and you can read it. So, go back. I want to create all my X's for as long as I want it to be. You can go a little bit of overlap, that's fine. And we're going to name this spa text form. So you'll notice we have our background layer. We have what they're going to be recognized for. This one's going to be all the same, but you can put this in its own, except you're limited to one line. So I'm just going to I keep saying hard-coded, but I'm just going to keep that one where it is. That one will not change. We have our name. That's going to be the student's name. And then we have our spa text one, only I need to add -RM at the end to handle the resizing. So now that I have this, I need to add an image. We haven't added an image yet. Now, you need to have an image for spa to run. It's just the nature of the beast. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an image that, using a mode that does not use facial recognition, because I don't want to waste the time on finding a face of an image that's not even going to be seen. So what's the point? What we're going to do is we're going to go into here under Setup PSD, and you can use 4, 6, I think 7, 8, 9, 10, any of those. But I'm just going to use 4 because that's what I'm familiar with. If you have questions on any other modes that you want to use, you can check out the PIXNUB tutorial site. And it has this right here. It goes over all the different modes, and you can see how this one is not using facial recognition for alignment. It is actually doing the horizontal centering, and that's really all I care about, horizontal centering. Okay, you can use also 7 and 8. This one will actually make it fill the whole thing, but I don't really care about that either. So I'm just going to do mode 4. It might be faster to use 7 or 8 or something like that, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use 4. I'm going to add my player layer group. okay. And then I'm going to make them nice and small because I don't really care. And then I'm going to actually drop him behind everything. And then I'm going to put it in a folder. Now, notice I can still see it. If I wanted to, I can drop him over here behind this, just so I know he's not being seen. But also, I'm going to take the folder that I dropped him in, and I'm going to set the transparency to 0, or the opacity. So now, even if he's out here in the middle, you're not going to see him. I'm going to leave him over there. So, we have our image. It's going to be hidden. And then we have the names. So let's go ahead and save that off. Now let's go ahead and create an image that we want to be that we want to use, right? So I'm going to do File New. I'm going to leave them nice and small. There we go. 64 by 64 pixels by 72. Really small. It doesn't matter what you put in here. I'm just going to throw the letter A for Averett. And then we'll make it just 30 pixels. Yeah, that's all it is. I'm just gonna file, export as JPEG, certificates with PIXNUB, and I'm gonna name it image. So when we open that up, that's all it is. That doesn't need much. You really don't need anything. You just has to have some sort of pixel there for PIXNUB to find. So we have our certificate, we have our image. Let's take a look at our data. So here are the list of names of the kids we want to recognize. And it looks like we have Miss Sanders in here. So I will do, remember, if you know anything about PIXNUB and SPA, the very first image, or first column, has to be the SPA column. And that's going to be our image.jpg that we just created. We're going to use that same image for all of them. It's hidden, it doesn't matter. It just has to be any image. We have our name right here. And remember, the name is going to be this one, name-rm, perfect. But we also need this one here, so SPA text 1. So let's go ahead and add that in. So we have SPA text 1, and this is going to actually be, I'm just going to say Mr. Dorset. And then Miss Sanders will be the teacher of these people. Mr. Smith will be the teacher of these people. Mr. Dorset is actually going to be the principal. Miss Sanders, just so we don't have it all caps. This is going to be Mr. Lewis. Since I'm using a script, I don't want it to be all caps. I'd like to kind of look at it like that. So we have our kid's name or teacher's name, and then here we have the principal is giving the certificate to the teacher, and then this is the teacher presenting to her kids, and I believe we are ready to go. So we have our image, it's going to be hidden, kids' names, and the signature. So let's go into our Photoshop. I am going to close out of this, and we are ready to run the automation. So we are going to go to our sports photo automation back home, go to our batch processing. Our images folder is going to be the folder where we saved this image. So certificates with PIXNUB, we got our image there. Our save folder is going to be where we want to save the finished image. The template is going to be that certificate.psd that we just edited and created. I want to open it back up, make sure we're good. We are. Batch processing, so now we are going to load our data file. Been loaded. And we're going to pause on the finished image for the first one just to ensure that it looks fine. Okay, looks like the name's being populated just fine. Our image is hidden. We don't have some random A popping up anywhere. So I'm just going to hit continue with no more pauses. And it's not going to take very long. Remaining time to be about 1 minute. But notice it's going down quite a bit. Now we're down to 48 seconds already. Taking about 1 to 2 seconds per, about 2 seconds per. We're already at 10. We're almost done. Dog's walking around. So you can still do something like this with PIXNUB. You just have to kind of manipulate whatever you're trying to do. All right, and let's take a look at our finished images. So that's it. Hopefully this little tutorial is helpful, and happy editing. I'll come back with some more stuff later. Thank you.